Alright, good afternoon grade 11 learners. I'm addressing you specifically because this drawing is catered to you specifically. You can see this is interpenetration and development. We are going to do a complete drawing, a very basic introduction drawing, and starting off we can see we have a pictorial view. I already have some copy piece drawn here. I'm going to go into that in a minute, and then we have the instructions. So the first thing is interpenetration and developments are where two solids basically connect into each other. You can see real life examples of this of drainage pipes. If you look at the outside of older buildings, that you would see the drainage system there. You would see a main pipe coming down with two additional pipes connecting onto that. That is a form of an interpenetration that you see there. So the development part of development is where we basically take the figure, we cut it open on the seam on one of the sides, and then you roll it open. In primary school you had to draw like a little square, and then you had to cut it out, and that would have been your development. You don't even know that you've done it, but you have. I'll put maybe I'll just flash an image of this example on the screen so you can see what it is. And let's continue. Alright, so your instructions are the following. You have been given an incomplete front view and top view of two right regular solids penetrating each other. Complete the front view showing the curve of interpenetration. Draw the development of the branch pipe using starting point AA as the seam. So here we can see is AA. A is also labeled there on the branch pipe. And then show all construction. Alright, so first of all, this is considered to be just a copy piece of what you should have been able to do very easy. Drawing a hexagon. If you don't know how to draw a hexagon, I suggest just go onto the channel, have a look at videos. You will see I show you two examples how to do this. Then when you project this up for the front view, the height is given to you as 70, and that is where we are now. Alright, so the first thing is we need to see what we can draw and what we can't. Usually with solids or interpenetration and development like this, you have to draw a bit of the front view here, and then you have to draw a bit of the top view, and then go back to the front view. That's how the measurements are going to be reworked. So the first thing we can see here at the top, there's 10 millimeters. From here it's 10 millimeters to where the branch pipe starts. So just the construction line, I'm going to measure 10 millimeters here, and then I'm projecting that line straight through from the front view all the way to the top, because my branch pipe does not extend past this point as it stands now. Now from the top to the middle of the branch pipe, which is on the front view, it's 30 millimeters. So I'm just going to make a mark 30, and then I'm going to draw a construction line out like this. So first thing that you should have seen, the branch pipe that connects onto this hexagonal prism is actually a square, just the way the branch pipe is placed. So it's a square tube or a square solid that fits inside of this hexagonal solid, right, this prism. So the way that the front view, you can see the way the branch pipe connects onto the main pipe on the front and at the top, it indicates what angle the auxiliary view is supposed to be. I have no idea what this width is unless I have a shape or something to use. So the method I'm going to go about to start drawing this auxiliary view is going to be the circle method for a square. So I just realized they are not giving me any, there's no dimension given for the auxiliary view. So for this case, let's go ahead and we use 24. So I know this is a bit, let's say there's supposed to be an auxiliary view here. This auxiliary view should have a base of 24 millimeters. Alright, and we are going to use exactly the same one at the front view. It's supposed to be the same. So what you do is you take your compass, you put it on your ruler, and then you get half of the base measurement. So this should be 12. and then up here on the middle where the 30 millimeters was, you draw a construction circle that's 12 radius. Now you're going to draw tangents to this that's on a 45-degree angle, right? Because it's a square. A square is either 90 degrees if it's like this. Let me just draw a quick image. If it's like this, the angles on the inside should be 90 degrees. But as soon as you turn it so it looks like this, then the angles on the inside are still 90 degrees if it's on a 45-degree angle. So we are looking at the 45 degree at this point. So a tangent, that means a touching line on the circle and on the middle point. Like that. And then a 45-degree tangent like this as well. Alright, so that is going to act as the auxiliary view for the branch pipe. So now you can take these points and start projecting them in. Okay, so I know somewhere on the inside is where the interpenetration happens. But before I can do that, I need to complete the top view. So I'm projecting a midpoint out. I'm doing exactly the same that I've just done. You put your compass in the middle. It's already set to 12. Draw a construction line. We are drawing then two tangents, so you line it up with the outside of the circle, so it forms a touching line there, and then you do the same for all the sides. Alright, so now you should have the two auxiliary views. The first thing is we can already see this auxiliary view that I'm supposed to draw up here on the front view. A is supposed to be at the top, so I know this point here is supposed to be A. The reason I'm labeling that is because in the instruction they say the seam has to be on AA. So second thing is, now that I have it on my top view here, this also acts as a copy piece, so you can just go ahead and draw these lines in. Alright, now it should make a bit more sense to you when I told you that the way that the branch pipe is looking, the way you can see it here, visualize it, means it's the way it's supposed to be turned. If it was turned so it looked like this, then it means your auxiliary view, you see there's a midpoint here where one of the corners are. So if this midpoint was not there, you could have assumed then they wanted you to draw the auxiliary view like this. But alas, that's what we have. So this is going to be the AA point. So now one of these lines are going to be labeled A. I typically choose the one that's closest. So if your pencil is laying like this and this point is labeled A, let's say this is A, B, C, so then this would be C. You're taking it on A and then you are lifting it up. Now you can see A is pointing or closest to you and C is pointing away from you. So even though this is A, C is now going to be at the bottom here, or at the very bottom, because this is the top view. So A, B, C, and D. So this is point D, this is point B. Remember, just like the solids, you have to label. It just makes your life so much easier. So now as this projects onto the top view and projects to the front, this point here is going to be A. This point here at the bottom is going to be C. Alright, B, as you look at it or you turn it to the front, D is supposed to be the line that's now in front. That's the one that you are seeing. So A, B, C, D. Same concept. If this is now your front view, this is point D, this is point B, taking point D and you are lifting it up, you're putting it down. So B is now furthest away from you and D is in front of you. So this is point D at the back you have B. So now let's see, we can fill in what we have. This is definitely A quality. And now this is where the interpenetration starts. These construction lines C, D and B and A have to correlate with the letters that you have down here. So for instance, this is where I have A and C. So if I take on the main pipe, I take a 90-degree angle, vertical line, on A and C. It means there, C, and there's A. So I know 100% that this is what I'm going to see when you look at A and C. For point B and D, that's now, or B and C, sorry. Yeah, B and D. Why did I label the C? B and D, sorry about that. So B and D, if you line them up, it goes on to point B and D in the middle here. So currently the line you are looking at here, this A quality line, is point D. Point B is at the back of the drawing that we don't see. So I know that point D goes onto the C point here, and point D goes onto the A point here. Alright, currently as it stands, there isn't any additional like turning points that we are working with, because we have the point that connects directly on the corner. So you won't have any turning points. That's part of this drawing. Alright, now let's actually have a look at the development. The development can be done on the right hand side, at the bottom, on the left. It doesn't matter where you do it on your page, as long as you have enough space. So I'm going to do it here on the right. I'm going to start my vertical line here. So the instruction says we have to do the development of the branch pipe. So from here, we draw a construction line down, and with the image that I'm going to put on the board, you should be able to see exactly how the branch pipe is cut off. So essentially what's happening is I'm using this branch pipe and I'm removing it from this front view, and then I'm cutting it open on the seam. They told me AA is supposed to be the seam of my drawing. So what needs to happen, if I cut it open here and I turn it around, so the flat side, this base, is in line with this line. I put point A here, then you would see it rolling up in segments, A to B to C to D back to A. That's how it's supposed to unfold. So you are using your auxiliary view for this, where you take your compass on the corner, on the side. We've made this 24, right? So it should be 24 millimeters. You can choose any point on the line to start with. So that's going to be B. If I take this back, so it's A, B, C, D, and you always want to end with what you started with, A. So it's A, B, C, D, A. Everything else, usually I encourage you to erase the rest of the line, because I've seen that some people still think that that's part of the drawing in some way. So then you can start drawing construction lines out from these letters here. Remember, we are now developing the branch pipe. So once you have A, B, C, D and back to A, now we have to look at the length of the branch pipe specifically. So if I take my compass, you put it on A. Remember, every point is going to be measured from the base here. So A onto point A where it connects, and that's going to be this distance that you have on the top view, right? It should be the same. So this is getting cut off on A, C, and A, because all of those are exactly the same. D and B is going to be slightly longer. So this would be on point B, this would be on point D. So once you have all those points, you can go ahead, you can start your A quality with a base, bring these lines up, and then you can start connecting them. Alright, so that is the development. In between we have something that we call folding lines. You have to put this in. This is where you have a long line, two short lines in the middle, a longer line, and so forth. So just to clarify, you have hidden detail lines that looks like this. Then you have a center line that's also called a chained line that looks like this. And then we have folding lines. That's a long line, two short lines, and a long line that looks like that. So please, you need to know hidden detail, center, folding lines. They are different. So this is what your development is going to entail. This is from start to finish what you should do, should know. I am going to put out like two or three more videos regarding developments, and hopefully this really assists you in going through the work. You can skip through the video as much as you want. You can go on to, hopefully I have enough time to put on timestamps for all of the drawings. Otherwise, this should be more than enough detail. You can use the same measurements that I have here, and then you can go ahead and just redraw this on your own page. Alright, best of luck to you grade 11s. See you in the next video.